The topic that we're going to discuss today and that you've written on, it's an evergreen topic, talking about imposter syndrome, talking about gaining visibility. It really is evergreen, but the world we live in today is a little different. So I think it's so timely and more relevant than ever. So thank you for coming on the show.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, before we jump into the topic, for my audience that maybe isn't as familiar with your work, share a little bit more about your background. What got you doing the work that you're doing? And then let's pivot into what got you writing the book.
So I actually worked for a big CPG company for a really long time, and I got a lot of leadership opportunities through those experiences. And one of the things that I struggled with while I was in corporate was visibility. And I had been given some feedback along the way that I wasn't being as visible as I needed to be for my level. And so it was a big shock because I, before that moment, had been thinking, I'm a top talent. I'm doing great. I'm doing all the right things to get promoted. And it was a little surprising to find out that was not true. So that kind of set me off on my journey to figure out what visibility looked like for me in my own authentic way, and not be a bragger, not be somebody who, has to talk in every meeting and say everything, for hours and hours in a meeting. And so when I realized that was the course that I was going on, I then saw my team struggling with it too. So as I, embarked on this world of visibility, I started to see more people were struggling with it just like I was. And so when I left corporate at the end of 2015, behind the scenes, I was thinking I really would like to write a book to help other people be able to do this. So I became a coach. I started working in companies and started working with individuals and coaching, and all of those things came together to help me write the book. I used some client stories, I used my own stories, but it's really a guide to help people learn how to be visible in their own way.
Beautiful. So I want to go back to something that you said. So go back to your story and your journey. You said that you were tapped on the shoulder and said, gosh, Susan, I'm paraphrasing here, you're doing great work. Boy, you're just not as visible as we would like you to be in the role that you're in. So when you said that, what struck me was, I'm curious, is there a certain level when we hit in our career where we need to keep visibility more on our radar? Is it important when we're an individual contributor, just as important as we're a director, or does it pop up more based on the role that we end up in?
Mm-hmm. I love that question. I think for most people, individual contributors, where you start showing that you can perform, right? That you can do the job, that's what they hired you for, and you want to be able to demonstrate that. But as soon as you're able to do the job, you really do need to start thinking about visibility and how to get in front of people for the next role and more opportunities or more responsibilities. And I don't think people always think about that. It definitely becomes almost a requirement as you become a senior manager or anybody who has a team or a director, VP. You have to be in front of those decision makers on a regular basis and influencing them and having conversations and showing the value that you provide or that your team provides. And that was something I thought I was doing. Obviously, I wasn't doing it enough. And so I really learned a lot about the importance of that. And now I want to help other people learn that they can do it too.